Good morning, beloveds. So apparently it was 80 degrees at 4 a.m. 80 degrees at 4 a.m. Yeah, it's July. I know where I live. My air conditioner is working, so. Oh my goodness. Ugh, 80 degrees at 4 a.m. Why do I know this? Because I watch the news in the morning. Well, I watch the Today Show. I wouldn't call that news. All right. We are in chapter 19, which is the summary, or as what Ernest described as an informal discussion about the science of the practice of spiritual mind healing. So we are starting on, if you have this book, we are starting on 313. And then we're just going to read a few pages and see where this goes. Because it's kind of a long chapter, so I figure I'll be in it for about about 3 days. So, all right. But we are starting on 313. So, the individualization of the universal comes to a point in the personal. Just as the human body is one with the entire physical universe, it is a different type of the same thing. So, my so-called mind is not another mind. It is this mind, but it is thinking individually. That is all. Thinking individually. It thinks differently. Not necessarily better or worse, but differently. We are individual entities in a universe which furnishes the background and the foreground for each of us, but each is unique, different, yet fundamentally alike. Why then should it be Why then should it seem strange if this whole differentiation of the physical universe is but a difference of form, distinguishing objects from one another because of arrangement, that the enlightened should see back of this arrangement the Word of God? In other words, the cosmic order is the divine mind. The universe in which we live is a spiritual system. We are spiritual beings, but we do not know it. We do not understand it. In our ignorance, we misuse our divinity without changing or destroying it. We can never change reality, cannot destroy it, nor break its laws, but we place ourselves in such a position to it that it appears limited and unhappy, and even appears to die. By people came death. By people came also the resurrection of the dead. What is this but stating that people figured out how to die and how to be born again? God has nothing to do with it, because God is not a God of the dead, but of the living, for all live unto it. We are, therefore, members of the universe. And being members of that which unites everything, we are some part of each other. I am the vine, and ye are the branches. Jesus' words were symbols of the universe in which we live. Except the branch abide in the vine, it shall not bear fruit. But if ye abide in me, and my words abide in ye shall ask what ye will, and it shall be done unto you. Thus is the Spirit glorified in the child. Our thought, then, is creative in our world. Macrocosm, the big world, and microcosm, the little world. We reproduce the cosmos in our individual world. The Spirit is greater than the child, yet the Spirit is the child, and we are each other, and it is in all of us. So, every day we are living from this unity, and projecting the experiences from it upon the screen of our objective lives. We have done this so long in ignorance that we appear to be bound by the outlines of the forms which our ignorance has projected. That is what Plato meant when he gave us the story of the slaves in the cave. They saw the shadow of bondage and thought they were bound, while all the while the chains had no reality. Okay, I just need to take a deep breath, and I'm going to point out that he says this line, projecting the experiences upon the screen of our objective lives. I'm going to remind you that makes you both the producer, director, and the actor in your life. You get to produce it, direct it, and act in it. That's a lot, but it means you have way more control over your life than you thought you did. Okay. Back to Ernest Holmes. We seek a practical use of the truth. The spirit is the starting point of everything. There is a presence in the universe which we call God, intelligence, law, which by the very act of its word create an objective form which is like its word. The word becomes flesh. We are some part of this creative order, and we cannot change our nature. We have to accept the truth, and we should make use of it. We had better use it constructively. Than destructively, in happiness rather than in misery. They are made out of the same thing, but let us try to arrive at heaven instead of hell. Hell cools off when we think of heaven. That's an interesting line. Okay. We wish to demonstrate. What do we mean by demonstration? Nothing particular, nothing weird, nothing that pertains to ghost walking. To demonstrate means to prove, to exemplify, to manifest, to bring forth, to project unto our experience something that is better than we had yesterday. Less pain, less unhappiness, less poverty, less misery, more good. This is what is meant by a demonstration. We would like to be happier, have greater physical health. We would like to have more of what it takes to be happy, whether it be millions or marbles. These things are nothing of themselves. It is only when we think of them as entities within themselves that we fall down and worship them, and then that which we should possess possesses and obsesses us. Every great spiritual genius has taught us to this effect. If you have possessions which possess you, it is better for you to lose them that you may understand their temporary fleeting form. No great spiritual teacher has devised the advisability of using possessions. Emerson says, to cast them upon the wind of heaven. Do not hold them. Beware of holding too much good in your hand. Okay. That's very Buddhist. It's like, attachments. Whatever you're attached to it owns you. So, it's not that you can't have stuff. You just don't want to get attached to it. Okay. All right, let's keep going. We would like to help ourselves and each other through using the law of mind. This we may do by treatment. What is a treatment? It is something the mind becomes aware of. Someone might ask, is it something the Spirit of God does to us? Yes, the Spirit of God is everything, but the mind must accept. And since the mind cannot accept what it rejects, then the mind must unqualifiedly accept. This is where the trouble comes in. We all have the spiritual power to raise the dead, but we do not believe we have. Our mind does not unqualifiedly accept this. Therefore, that which we are, through disbelief, projects the form of have not rather than the form of have. But even in the taking of the form of the have not, it demonstrates that it has what it believes. Ernest occasionally gets weird with his punctuation. This is one of them. So a lot of times he does like run-on sentences, like he doesn't use. Here he's got periods in strange places, and I'm just like, I'm kind of expecting another word, and no, there's period there. Okay. All right, back to Ernest. We enter the absolute in such a degree as we withdraw from the relative. The Bible tells us not to count our enemies. It is not easy, is it, to turn from the disease and know that there is no disease, when we know very well that it is an experience of the moment. This is not easy, but the one who can do just this can heal. The all-creative wisdom does not think one thing is difficult and another easy. With God, all things are possible. We must know this, and this power of God must be hooked up with our thought, with what we are doing. Energy unconnected does nothing. It is only when it is used, properly directed, that it accomplishes things. We must conceive of the Spirit, God, as governing, controlling, and directing people's activity. God is not a failure. Therefore, we must resolutely turn away from any experience which has been negative, and from every experience which has been a failure, and from every experience which denies God. The mental and spiritual practitioner should deal with their field alone. And I thought this next line was important enough to highlight, so let's see if it's worth it. They are not opposed to the mechanical practitioner. No, they are not opposed to the medical practitioner. They do not say, I cannot treat this person if they take a pill. Okay? Yeah. See, that's one of those where we are not anti-doctor. We are not, if you need a pill, take a pill and then treat. And because, what is it? He says somewhere else in here, all things are of God, including that pill that you need to do whatever it is that you need it to do. So, and I run into that because I work at a health food store, and people like come up to me and declare, oh, I don't take any medications, like it's some great feat. And I'm like, oh, so you are shaming me for the fact that I take 3 prescriptions, huh? And if I would say something, they would feel really bad about it, which is why I don't say anything. But it's just like, you know what? If you need the pill, take the pill. Okay, back to Ernest Holmes. And then I've got to figure out where I'm going to stop because, he just keeps going. Oh, I think I'm going to stop at the bottom of this page because it ends at the bottom of this page. Yeah, all right. Unless the practitioner can prove that the person does not need to take the pill, the patient had better take it if it will benefit them. There is nothing weird about the application of the truth. We should not be superstitious in using the law of mind, but the mental practitioner should remain in their own field, which is always the field of thought. In other words, it's not my job to tell you whether or not to take the pill. That's between you and your doctor. It's my job to do a treatment. If one is working for a person who has high blood pressure or low blood pressure, after a few treatments, they might have their patient go back to their physician for a physical checkup. But one may ask, can I have a spiritual treatment if I do this? This is a superstitious reaction, and all superstition is ignorance. If the mental and spiritual practitioner can restore normal blood pressure for their patient, a doctor who can weigh and measure it can quickly ascertain if the work has been done. When this is understood, the closest cooperation will be brought about between the physician and the metaphysician. It is inevitable that the day shall come when they will understand each other. They are working in 2 separate fields, which at the same time have a fundamental unity in one primal principle. But the mental and spiritual practitioner works in the field of mind alone. Unlike the physician who must diagnose the disease and work with it, the metaphysician turns entirely away from the disease in their thought. Disease, whether they be mumps, measles, poverty, or unhappiness, are all wrong adjustments to life. This is what disease is: lack of ease, dis-ease. The mental and spiritual practitioner must turn completely away from the condition as it is and must contemplate it as it ought to be, never as it appears to be. And I'm going to pause on that moment. All right. Let me look at the time. I think we're going to have to break this up into 4 parts. There's still 7 pages left, but I am going to stop here. Okay. So we are pausing, and tomorrow we will pick this up on 317. And do probably 4. So one of the days will be pretty short. He has a couple of sections at the end, but that's a good place to end. So I know we're going to start tomorrow. And besides, it ends on that really, I highlighted it. The mental and spiritual practitioner must turn completely away from the condition as it is and must contemplate it as it ought to be, never as it appears to be. We don't deal in appearances. We deal in this. Dr. Goswami would call it the bliss body. I might call it the blueprints. We deal in the way God sees it. And God always sees it as perfect, whole, complete. God doesn't see it in the terms that of the experience that we are having. So it's like we acknowledge the experience that we are having and we say, but it doesn't have to be this way. This is not how God sees it. This is not how Spirit sees it. And I like that he leans into it. He's like, look, because Christian Science and Mary Baker Eddy was anti-doctor. Now, granted, she was practicing in the 1800s, and doctors were a little scary back then because they believed in leeches and things like that. We've come a long way. Medical science has come a long way. Our doctors are much, much better than the doctors that Mary Baker Eddy was dealing with. Ernest is not anti-doctor. Science of Mind is not anti-doctor. All Science of Mind is saying is, look, as a spiritual practitioner, stay in your lane. Don't, and I have the same thing, in my, what I like to call my mortgage paying job, I recommend vitamins and minerals and herbs. When people walk in and say, well, I want off my prescription, I'm like, that's between you and your doctor. Here, these are things that can support what you are doing, but I'm not going to suggest you get off your prescription. I'm going to say, go have a conversation with your pharmacist. Go have a conversation with your doctor if you want off. There are things that I can help you do that in the long run may get you off, but I'm never going to suggest you quit taking a prescription. I stay in my lane. Practitioners are to do the same thing. We stay in our lane. Our job is in the mind. And to know the unity of the mind, to know that since I'm using the same mind that you use, that I can hold the space for you to have the experience that you want to have. All right, quick housekeeping, and then I'm going to move on into the process of my day. So, which, could be an interesting day. One of my coworkers is having a Bell's palsy experience, so we are treating for her. Cause I watched my mother have that experience and it's miserable. So, so it's going to be me and the boss this morning. So I don't know what that's going to look like. But it's going to be good. It's going to be good. I enjoy working with him when he does that. So, when he has to do that. All right. So as I said, deep breath. Here's the housekeeping. We are Creative Life Spiritual Center, Creative Life Spark. I'm the running Rev Ryan on the social medias that I am on. One easy way that you can support the center and me is to go and engage with our social media. Go like, subscribe, follow, comment, share. When you do that, then it bumps us in the algorithms and then more people see our stuff because we think we have helpful, enlightening, good stuff. We want to make the world a better place. So that's our goal. And then if you want to know more about the center, please email it. You either go to creativelife.org, that's our website, or email info@creativelife.org. That's our constant contact email. You get 1 email a week, unless something unusual happens, because it's a real person doing it. He didn't have time for more than that. So, and the hot links are hot. If it says click here now, it'll take you right to the information you want or the person that can help you get it. So, and then I'm going to encourage you to have a great day, wondrous day, fantastic day, magical day, an enchanted day, a wonderful day, an awesome day, an amazing day. A get this week started off on the right foot day. A 4-day work week. I have Thursday off. A do what you need to do day, a pack your lunch day, a drink plenty of water day, a go for a bike ride day, a stay out of the heat day, a cuddle your fur babies day, a take some time to breathe day, a recognize the unity day, a get this month started off right day, welcome to July day, a half the year's over day, a whatever kind of day you need to have, a good day. And if that is too much pressure, simply have a day. Simply have a day. You are enough, just as you are. You are a beloved expression of the divine. Okay? You are spirit in motion. You are God in action. You are a brilliant light. You are a divine spark, or as Reverend Jesse likes to call us, you are a godling. All right? Explore the truth of your being. Just forget everything everybody has ever told you about yourself, including you, and get to know who the divine knows you to be. The only promise I can make you, the person the divine knows you to be is good. From there, all things are possible. All right, beloveds. Reverend David will be on around 5 p.m. with you. I will be back with you around 9 a.m. tomorrow. Take care of yourself. Know that you are loved, and I will see you next time.